Good morning. Today I'm going to teach you about 1020 measurement system and how to do measurement for polysomnography. That's a head measurement. Okay, here we go. Now this is the head, or we have to consider head of the patient. For the polysomnography, we need to do the hookup. Okay, 1020 measurement system it is called because everything you measure on the basis of 10 and 20. Now, yesterday I told you about how to check. This is Nagian, and the other side, this one is Inian. Okay, this is Nagian and this is Inian. Now we have to measure this one. This is called z-axis. And the same way, from here, this is called periauricular, this side, this little indent. From here to the other side, this is called periauricular. So we have to measure this side. So one is like this and one is like this. So, and from here we have to do 1020 measurement system. Okay. And on the sleep, here you see these are the main points, or these are the placements where we place our leads. And this is the facial electrodes and on the head also. And this is okay. These are the points. Like on the picture, you can see that there are 10 major points that we need for this sleep study. Now, the first one is the parts of the brain that we learned yesterday. This is forehead. It is called prefrontal. This is called frontal. This is called central. This is parietal. And this is occipital. Okay. Now, this is you can check on the picture okay. Now, this is prefrontal. This is frontal. This is central. This is occipital. And this side is called, this is occipital and this is parietal. Now, because of this, the 6 different parts of the brain that we consider during the sleep study. And this is prefrontal, and it is, abbreviated as FV. This one is like frontal is called F. Central is called C. Parietal is called P. Occipital is called O. So all the points that we consider on these areas, we are going to denote, represent it with the first letter of that part. Okay, now let's check. And here the first 3, because this is a frontal, on FZ and FC, we consider one of these as a reference and one of these as a ground. Okay, so these 10 points are very, very important. All right. Now, to measure, to do the head measurement, you need measuring tape. This is the measuring tape, right? This is the measuring tape. And then you need a marker, this China marker, and you need a head, and you need pad or alcohol pad to clean it. All right, I'm going to show you how to do the measurement. Okay. Okay, the first thing we do, step 1, we do is okay, the step 1 is measuring from Inian. This part is called Inian. Go on the back to the occipital, this part. Little bump here you see, this is called occipital. So we measure this one, and I see that the measurement is 38 So first thing I do is like make a half, 19, okay, the half of this. And the second thing, this is half of this. Now the second thing I do, I take 10% from this region up. So because it was 38 and I'm going to take 10% of this, which is 3.8. So I mark like this. See? I mark like this. This is the 10%. Okay? 10%. So this mark is 10% of this. And I have marked here, the half of this one. So we will take, check it out, we will take like, because this is called 1020 measurement. So what you're going to do, once you mark from, measure from Indian to, Najan to Indian, then you have to, what you have to do is like, first thing you have to mark half of this, then you go 10% up from here, which is 3.8, and 10% up from Indian 2, which is 3.8. 1, 2, 3.8 right here. Okay, so on the back also you'll see I went like this. Here was the Indian, and then I go up 3.8%. Now normally when you do 3.8, like that's the 10% from Indian, Nigerian and Indian, we go up 10%, and from half, the easiest way is like going like 20% down, okay, 20% down, which is about like, so 20% of 38, okay, I mean 20% of 38. 38 means, okay, 76. So double of 38 is 76. So what I do, I take like 7.6, which is right here. So this is 7.6. What I did, I went from center, from here, 7.6 to the down, right here. 7.6, and I'll go the other side also, 7.6. So I took 20% from this side. Or if you measure from here to here, it's going to be 20% too. Now the first thing, this became like 10% and then 20% and 20%. So in that way, same way on the back. From Indian, this is 10% and then you go 20% and it goes 20%. So the easiest way, just like I told you, when we measure from Nigerian to Indian, make it half. And after that, you go 10% up on the back. And then from half, go 20% on either side, okay? This is how we're going to measure. So this is 1020 for the axis, z-axis. Now we can do from pre-auricular, and the pre-auricular is you have to measure like this, the little indent. This one is pre-auricular. From here to the next other side. Okay, this is pre-auricular. So what you're going to do is like measure, go from pre-auricular, from the center point to the pre-auricular. So I got like 36, and I'm going to mark half of 36, okay? So when I do half, when I did like half of 36, which is 18, then I got a cross over here. Now the same way, because this is also 1020 measurement, you have to go up 10% out, so 36, so you have to go 3.6 right here, okay? This is 10%, and the other side also you have to go 3.6, which is about 1, 2, 3.6. Okay. Now I marked here 3.6. And this way you can check, like, look, this is like pre-auricular, and you go up 10%, which is 3.6, and the other side also, you go from, this is pre-auricular, go up 10%. Now in that way, we did just like here. When we did this from here to here 10%, then from center we went 20% on the either side. And same way we are going to do the same thing over here too. So we measured this one right here, which was 36, and we have to count like 20% of 36. So what I normally do is like 36, I double that number with 72, and I go 7.2. So 20% is easy to get, like 36, double the number, which becomes like 72. So you take 20% means 7.2. So what I do, from the center point, I go either side, okay? So from here, down here, I go 7.2 right here. Okay, this is my 7.2. And I go on this side also, 7.2. So easiest way is like going this way. Okay, this is my 7.2. All right, so if I show you, these are like, this is center, on this side 7.2, this side 7.2, okay, 7.2. So in that way, I got like 3 of my points. I got like CZ, and the left side C3, right side C4. Always remember, left sides are always like odd numbers, and right sides always even number. And when you measure like this, you have to make sure that all these 3 points are, lying at the same line, imaginary line. It has to be straight. It cannot be zigzag, because when you measure correctly, it's going to be on the straight. Now, what I do, I have to measure the circumference. And to do the circumference, now let me show you. What we do is like point your tape right here, and then go around through, through this your indent point, okay, just like this. And I got like 56, okay, 56. So first thing you have to do is like go half of 56, which is 28. So first is 28. So what I do, I go like half of 56. So this makes me easier to do like this. So I will take, look at this, which is 28, okay? This is the half. So I cross here, you see? So this is half of 28. And normally, half of 56, normally I have to go like 5% on each side, because this distance, we wanted to make it like 10%. So 5% means that half of 56, which is 28, and I go 2.8, 2.8 right here, okay? Right here. All right. And then I go 2.8 on this side too, 2.8 right here, okay? So this is my, okay, this is my 2.8. Now in that way, what happens is, this is O1 on the left side, this is O2, this is OZ, but we don't need OZ. But anyway, the same thing I'm going to do on the front side also. I will go 2.8 on either side. So from here, I go 2.8 right here, see, and I go 2.8 on this side also. Okay, so in that way I got like my FP1, I got my FP1 on the left side, FP2 on my right side, okay? And before this, I told you we don't need FP1 and FP2 to do the hookup, but to find F3 and F4, we need to measure this one too. Now, I'm in a process of measuring this F3 and F4. So what I do is from here, like FP1, you see FP1, I go to C3 right here, which is about 13. You can check number 13. So what I do is like I get half of this, which is 6.5 right here, 6.5. Okay, now I have to do the same thing on the other side. I go like this is, I'm going from here FP2 to here, which is should be about 13, and I'll go like half of 13, which is 6.5. Now in this way I got my all the points that I need. This is my FZ, F3, F4, CZ, C3, C4, and this is A1, A2, and on the back I got my OZ, O1, and an O2. Now this is it, okay? This is how we do measurement. All right, I'm gonna repeat one more time so that it makes it easier for you. So what I did, I'm gonna repeat it to show you. Now check it out. I take like this millimeter side, see, centimeter, sorry. Then I go from Nagian to Indian, okay, and measure half, mark half. I go 10%. This right here, I go 10% on other side also. Then from the center, I went 20% on either side. Okay, so I'm done. First, Nagian to Indian, half, 10%, 10%, from center, 20%, 20%. If you want, you can go from 20% from here to here too. It's the same thing. All right, the z-axis is done. Now I'm going to do periauricular to periauricular. So what I did, I measure from periauricular to periauricular like this, and I mark half right here. Half, and then I go 10% up, 10% up, and I go 20%. From the center, I went 20%, 20% on either side. So I'm done on my C-axis too, periauricular to periauricular. Now the next thing what I did is like I have to measure the circumference. So I went like this, okay, then I measure here the half of the circumference, I marked it, and I went 5% and 5%. You have to make sure only 5%, because the total distance between these 2 points is supposed to be 10%. That's why from the center we went 5% on either side. And the same way I went 5% either side over here too. See, 5% on either side on this one too. Now because we don't use this forehead like prefrontal to do the hookup, or some people use it too. You can use as a reference on either side or any of these 3 points. It is easier sometimes. But like we measure this number, I mean these points, so that I can find my FP1. So FP1 to C4, then I measured it, this is the half of, this 2, which is like F4. This is my F4, and if I go from this side, I measure from here to here, get a half, which is about, this is C3. F3, F4. So I got my F3 and F4 too. But normally, this is how we do. But normally, if you wanted to get like exact point of this one, so what you do is like you have to go 10% from here too. Okay. Well, let me tell you, I think that's the best way to do it. To find this F3, to find this F3 point, you have to go 10% here, which is about 5.6. Okay, this is 5.6. Then first thing you have to do is like take a half from here to here, which is 6.5, and then half of from here to here, which is 5.5. Okay, So in that way you cross this line. And for the exact measurement, make sure all of these your lines are cross. And this cross indicates that you are measuring twice. Like twice means you have to cut this point. You need to find out the exact point. If you measure from here to here, then center of these two, then here to here. Here you'll get yours F8. So you have to make a half of F8. This is how we do 10-20 measurement system. Okay, this is how we do 10-20 measurement system. And if you have any question, just let me know and put your comment and let's see. All right. Thank you very much.